Relief operations are underway, but food, clean water and medical supplies can't come fast enough.
This is one of the biggest emergencies that we've dealt with for some time.
They have survived for a week now, often with very little food, with very little water, with very little medical attention.
Now we don't need pity, we just need your help.
The images of the Philippines after Typhoon Haiyan tore through whole communities and islands have become an open invitation to come and join to help these communities begin rebuilding the lives they lost.
Nakarating na ba relief dito?
We are here in Tandangsora, Quezon City in the Philippines amongst volunteers who are preparing bags to help victims of Typhoon Haiyan. Now the work here has been steady for days and will continue into the next week with a constant influx of individuals just wanting to do their part to help. Many of them know someone impacted by the typhoon, while many others do not have a single link to anyone in the areas hit, just that they have a deep desire to help those in need.
Kahit bahagya po, makatulong man lamang po kami dun sa mga iba po nating mga kababayan dito sa Philippines. Kahit koonti po ay makapagtawid gutom man lamang po ito para sa kanila.
Naisip po namin na mahalaga po na sa maliit na paraan namin makatulong po kami sa mga kapatid po natin at mga kababayan na nasa landa po ng bagyo.
This is probably one of the top 12, so the top dozen of all storms ever seen on this planet.
On November 8th, Super Typhoon Haiyan, equivalent to a Category 5 hurricane, with gusts topping more than 200 miles per hour, slammed into the Philippine Islands.
This storm is Sandy size in width. This is the entire country of the Philippines. And so there's a lot of bubble here. There's a lot of water under this storm. There's going to be storm surge.
The storm washed away homes, businesses, and in some areas turned entire neighborhoods into piles of rubble in places like Tacloban City and Palo Leyte. With power and communications down in many parts of the Philippines, friends and family members around the world eagerly looked for ways to hear news about their loved ones in the affected areas.
When this happened, system went down, everything, all communications are down. There is no way for you to connect to anybody.
Through her role at DZEM 954, Eleanor saw an opportunity to connect people in the Philippines to those abroad.
If I get to interview people from here by telephone and their family could hear them in the Philippines by the radio stations, our radio stations, then there is a chance, or at least we're hoping, that their families could hear them. It's human instinct. You right away think of how is nanay or tatay there, looking for the children or the husband. You automatically think about that. Hopefully somewhere out there people will hear their family, looking for them or letting them know that I'm alive, I'm okay.
But Eleanor was not the only one. Cindy Fabella joined the Filipino community at Rizal Center in downtown Chicago.
In the past few days, I have been helping out at the Rizal Center, helping with the packaging of clothes and a lot of the medical supplies. Viewing the images that I've seen on the news feed, on Facebook and on the news, it prompted me to think, here I am in my comforts of my own home, and these people are going hungry with no food and no relief coming to them, So with just that in mind, that moved me to take action.
Cindy didn't have a personal connection with those impacted, but even so, knew she wanted to help.
In the next few days, I will try to get the school and my Girl Scout troop to participate in this drive. So I'm going to try to find ways to organize that.
Members of the Iglesia Ni Cristo around the world like Cindy and Eleanor, joined the thousands of brethren throughout the Philippines in doing whatever they could to help.
Tulong-tulong ang mga kapatid, lalo na ang mga ministro sa Iglesia ni Cristo at yung mga kapisanan ng Iglesia ni Cristo ay tulong-tulong sa pagbabalot, sa paghahanda ng lahat ng mga dapat ipamigay. Ang tagapamahalang pangkalahatan, ang kapatid Eduardo B. Manalo, ay handang-handa na tumulong sa ating mga kababayan. Ang layunin niya ay ang utos ng Diyos na nasa Biblia. Una, ibigin mo ang ating Panginoon Diyos at ikalawa, ibigin mo iyong kapwa-tao.
After the break, we'll get on the ground in Tacloban, Philippines, to get a look through the eyes of some of our very own volunteers in one of the hardest hit areas of Super Typhoon Haiyan. And we'll meet the medical mission team of the Iglesia ni Cristo Aid for Humanity project in cooperation with the FYM Foundation as they prepare for the first of many Aid for Humanity projects in Samar and Leyte. Stay with us. As thousands of people rushed airports and ports like the one in Ormoc to leave the hard-hit areas, those wanting to help made their way in.
Right now we're like in Ormoc. Right now we're gonna relieve goods for the victims and like medical missions too. Like we will try to go around the cities around.
Many of the volunteers on the barge to Ormoc were compelled to join in on the efforts, despite the news of the situation on the ground or the long and uncomfortable trip to the region.
It's a humanitarian process and we are trying to help. Part of our being part of the community kag Filipino man ta to help man kami.
It was the same sentiment felt by Ace, Jason, and Glenn.
The Guardian.
They were among the hundreds of field reporters and volunteer organizations giving us a glimpse into the lives of those who are now living the new reality left by Typhoon Haiyan.
I think we're unloading here and getting footage. The other INC TV team they have a different story that they're going, so they're talking to a lot of the locals here, getting their story. It's really good working with them. They're strong. It's an honor to be with them on this trip, letting us see the things happening over here.
Here at where they took that picture, it's going viral on the internet, and this is where it is.
This is hard to describe. I mean, right now, on the camera, all you could probably just see is debris, but in there is like little toys, slippers, various items, household items, and it's like these belong to people. These were cherished by people. And these people might not have much, but it made it even more valuable to them.
Among the ones that the crew met was Ramon, who lived just steps away from water. He joined in helping bring residents to the safety of the house of worship in Tacloban.
Pagkuhan may hinahatid namin, re-rescue, dinadala.
Ibig sabihin, nare-rescue dahil may tubig na ho dyan?
Wala pa po.
Wala pa.
Ano pa lang, tagubilin pa lang.
Unknown to him, his wife and children had also done their part to bring their neighbors to safety.
Malaki ang tubig. Tapos sabi ko sa kanila, yung mga kasamahan ko, punta tayo sa kapilya.
Ako ng kapitbahay, iglesia siya, magkaibigan kami, mag-close kami. Si Hera Ramon, si Margie, magkalapit kami sa bahay nila.
Sinabihan na kami ng kaibigan namin sila Golcha na pumunta na kayo dun sa sa church namin, sa church namin, mag-ano na lang kayo doon.
Salamat nga na ligtas kami, doon kami sa iglesia, nakapasok.
Maski hindi sila kaanib ng Iglesia ni Cristo, dinala ko po sila kasi gusto ko sila maligtas.
Wala.
Saan po kayo tumutuloy?
Diyan sa may garahe ng Tagpangasiwa.
Paano po kayo nabubuhay? Saan kayo kumukuha ng pagkain?
Dito sa lubrication, tulungan naman.
We have Brother Jason right behind us, just taking some video on some of the kids that are around here regarding their livelihood, lifestyle, and just how they're still positive spirited. And there's just this unsaid camaraderie and bond between them. I'm sure it helps the day go by quicker.
An attitude of resilience that has astounded people around the world and invited each one of us to care for our fellow men and do what we can to help.
People here are just trying to continue on with their life. I don't know, children are going to be growing up the better part of their life just with their town being rebuilt. Like, they won't know anything else. The church will be able to help their community, the community here, through the Ling Up and everything. Yeah, all right, I'm signing off.
Coming up, Iglesia ni Cristo volunteers through the Ling Up sa Mamamayan project in cooperation with the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation travel, bringing aid and assistance to some of the worst-hit areas of Typhoon Haiyan.
Alright, yan ang una natin gagawin, Kurumbo, bukas na umaga.
The Iglesia ni Cristo Aid for Humanity, in cooperation with the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation, mobilized immediately, bringing over much-needed relief goods, medical supplies, and a volunteer medical staff ready to provide whatever they could to the residents.
Meron pong mga may karamdaman. Meron po tayong medical mission na isasagawa. Magpalista lang po ang mga may karamdaman para sila po ay mabigyan ng pagkakataon na magamot ang kanilang mga sakit.
At ang matinding hirap po namin ngayon ay ito pong wala pong pagkain, walang tubig, walang medisina. Dahil ang Tacloban ay lahat ng mga parmasi ay rinansak po ng mga nagluluting.
Dito po, punong-puno na medicine na niya. Ubus na. Maya Roro po. Roro from
8.4 po, kapansin nyo, nandoon po yun, halos na lang ating kada 8 oras lang po ang bigay ha. Kapasobrahan ko na rin po, para kung may problema po tayo sa mga darating na panahon, may magagamit po kayo.
From barangay to barangay, the outreach was met with lines of residents. With so many people to help, members of the Iglesia ni Cristo, who themselves were typhoon survivors, joined in to help with the relief efforts.
Mahirap po dumaan ang mga sasakyan pagpasok po sa kapilya dahil sa nga po punong-puno po ng mga kahoy yung kalsada, yung daanan po papunta ng kapilya. Kaya po inuna na po namin yung mga pangulo ng sambahayan na dinalanan po namin dito para dito po sila tumanggap ng ng tulong ng pamamahala.
Ano ba ng sambahayan niyo?
Yung amin naman pong sambahayan ay kuha naman po, kompleto naman po kami. Kaya lang yun nga po, yung bahay namin ay nasira din po.
Many of the Iglesia ni Cristo members in this region faced a similar fight for survival at the height of the storm.
Sira yung mga kasangkapan, mura lang naman yan.
And although many lost almost everything they had, they held on tightly to what was most important, their faith.
Sa Diyos tayo nananalig Kaya ganun.
Pumunta na kayo sa likod, pupuluin ko kayo.
Tawagin ko po muna. Tawagin mo na. Ngunit, tandaan mo, ang Diyos hindi ka pabababayaan.
Ministers and officers went out to visit those impacted, providing the emotional, but especially the spiritual guidance needed to overcome such a traumatic experience.
And with everything still happening, everybody's, again, smiling. And that's not a bad thing, that's really good. It's just, it really goes to show where everybody puts their trust and faith into. It truly is God. One of the ministers, Christian, he was saying that, months before this happened, I mean, the lessons were all about strengthening and being stronger in your faith. Like, it was preparing them for this. He said the brethren here, talking to them, it's not, it's like they were ready for it when it came.
Not just ready to face the challenges ahead, but to help their fellow men do the same. Back in Ormoc, there were still many people trying to leave.
Kahapon pa kami nandito sa Ormoc.
Hindi nga kami siguradong makakasakay agad eh. Pero umalis kami doon kasi yung mga bata, mabaho na kasi yung ihip ng hangin ba. Nasa kalsada kasi yung mga patay, hindi pa nakukuha.
Maraming tao nakapila. Nagpunta kami doon sa terminal. Tapos balik kami pa. Baka makasakay. Sabi ng ating namin nga, pwede daw.
Maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat po talaga. Kasi hindi namin alam kung saan, anong barko kami makakasakay.
The barge that brought over relief goods, medical supplies, and the medical staff of the Iglesia Ni Cristo Aid for Humanity project was soon filled with survivors of Typhoon Haiyan, who, in their hopes to escape the devastation of the aftermath, found much-needed aid in an unlikely place.
Nagsapala rin kami dito sa Ormoc, baka sakaling mayroong medical assistance, kaya lang hindi na namin abutan. May psoriasis ako eh, pero yung after lang talaga ng bagyo, nag-ano siya lahat. Sabi na sa inyo na ang sakit niya ay psoriasis. Papasalamat ako sa Iglesia ni Cristo na nag-rent ng sasakyan na to. Nakasakay kami at nabigyan ng pag-asang makapag-check ulit.
Coming up, we go back to Quezon City, where efforts to mobilize Iglesia Ni Cristo volunteers continue, preparing for what is now an ongoing aid to humanity in all areas devastated by Haiyan, and see what you can do to give hope after Haiyan.
So we're here in Tandang Sora, Quezon City in the Philippines at the Iglesia Ni Cristo Repacking Center, where thousands of bags have been prepared and are still going to be prepared within the coming weeks. We have with us here Nomi.
Nomi,
Where do you
yes.
come from?
We are from the New Era University Library Department. We came here, we are 6, only to help other people by repacking these things, including a pack of rice with 3 pieces of sardines and also 3 pieces of instant noodles. Sana po kahit papaano ay nakapagbigay din po kami ng kagalakan sa kanila at gayon din po sa pamamahala at nakatulong din po kami sa panawagan din po nila. Meron din po kami mga relatives na nandun. Nalulungkot po kami dahil una wala na rin po kaming balita kung nasan sila, pero sana po ligtas sila.
Thousands of relief bags were packed even within the first few days after Typhoon Haiyan touched ground, and more are prepared each day. Contributions of families and individuals alike are accounted for at packing warehouses like this one in Quezon City.
Dito po dinadala ng mga iba't ibang mga lokal at mga distrito yung mga kagandang loob ng mga kapatid. Libo-libo na rin po na mga naipadala ng mga kapatid. Hindi lang canned goods, bigas, hindi lamang yung gagamitin nila sa kanilang bago sa pagtulog nila at iba't iba pa. Bagamat nalulungkot sila, maaaring may mga kamag-anak sila doon. Pero ganun man, ipinapasa Diyos nila kasama sa ipinapanalangin natin na sana makabangon sila sa tulong at awa ng Panginoon Diyos. Makaka-recover sila.
Kahoy niya sa taas, nagliparan na, nawala na eh. Parang nawasak na lahat eh.
Typhoon Haiyan didn't discriminate when it hit the Philippines in November. It flattened homes, businesses, and schools, destroyed livestock and farms. Whatever was in its way, it was indiscriminate, powerful, life-changing. Much like the help that now continues to be extended to the people of this region. Help that the Iglesia ni Cristo Church of Christ hopes does not just give the residents what they need to survive, but the hope to live.
Talagang malaking pinsala sa amin dito yung nangyari sa malaking tulong po ito sa amin, tsaka maraming taong nakikinabang po dito sa inyong tulong sa amin. Salamat sa inyong tulong sa amin.
Salamat din.
Kajun Rubuela po ng Hulita Leyte East.
Pakiusap po sa ano sa inyo. Pag-aralan ng iglesia. Pag muna natin sabihin, mali ito, masama ito. Ang gusto ko lang pag-aralan nyo. Sana lang kung meron pupunta ng ministro, pakita nyo. Bilang salamat siya.
Salamat kami.
Schools are reopening in Tacloban and in many areas devastated by Haiyan. Families are once again returning to rebuild. Life in this region is slowly moving towards recovery.
Ito ang puso ng ating tagapamahalang pangkalahatan, ang kapatid Eduardo B. Manalo, na sa mga panahon ng kalamidad ay asahan ninyo na Iglesia ni Cristo ay kaagapay nyo para tumulong at kahit bahagya ay mabigyan tayo ng mga dagliang pangangailangan. Kaya ang lingap na ito ay tuloy ng tuloy hanggat kailangan ng ating mamamayan ay naroon na Iglesia ni Cristo.
The road to recovery will be long and difficult, but as we've seen today, it will not be a path these residents will have to take alone, thanks to the outpouring of kindness and love that so many have willingly extended. Remember, whenever you possibly can, do good to those who need it. Thank you for joining us today on INC Giving. I'm Lois Paula from Quezon City, Philippines. We'll leave you now with images of perseverance, of faith, of the spirit of resilience, and of humanity's willingness to set aside comforts for the sake of others.